All right, hi everyone. Um, my name is Brendan Tam, and I'm the Senior Platform Product Manager at Zoom. Welcome to this sessions. In this sessions, I'll be talking about an exciting new features that Zoom will be opening to developers soon, and that is the Connect features, which allows developer to build connectors onto the Zoom platform. This is our short agenda today, and I'm just going to dive right in. So you might have questions on what are connectors? Um, so connectors aren't any novel concept. If you have built on other platforms like Microsoft or Zapier, you probably know what they are. Connectors on the Zoom term are essentially apps that uses our Connect features. Essentially, the Connect features are powered by the Zoom service and the connector framework. With the connector framework, an app can call third-party APIs and bring that third-party data into the Zoom platform. A single app with Connect features can work with multiple Zoom products and features. As you can see on this diagram in here, it works with meetings, our AI companion, team chat, phone, contact center, Zoom workflow automation, and many other products. Now, that might still be kind of vague what is actually included in the Zoom connector service. Let me go into it in the next slides. So let's take an example. Zoom has built many different connectors for our customers already to ensure their customers' experience is good when they're using our app. In this example, I'm going to use our Google Connector app that we've built at Zoom. Think about without the Connect features, you can still leverage third-party APIs. However, you will need to maintain your own credentials from third parties and your integration code. And of course, there needs to be a Zoom API or some kind of methods that your app can use that Zoom offer to bring these third-party data into Zoom. So that's a lot of work, right? The connector service and framework really aims to simplify all of that for a developer. There's two critical elements, components in the connector service. One is the connector authorizations. The other part is the data transformation. So in the connector service, as you can see in this example, the connector service and framework is handling the Google Connector app credentials. And then we also handle the Google data schema and transforming to a Zoom data schemas that Zoom product and features would understand. So with the Connect features, you as a developer really only needs to worry about your user, your use case, and the data that you plan to bring into the Zoom platform. Now, what are some of the key benefits to build with the Connect feature? Number one, using the Connect feature is very straightforward with our build flow UI. We'll have a demo later to show you how it works. But essentially, you only need to bring that third-party API definitions and the credentials, and you can have a working app in a matter of minutes setup. Number two, the app with Connect features can also easily extend with different use cases, as I mentioned in the first slides. It works with Google Meeting. It works with the Zoom meeting. It works with the Zoom team chat, workflow automation. So for an example, as a developer, you only need to set up it once, for example, using a file endpoints from Microsoft, for example. That particular endpoint that you bring in with the Connect features can work with both workflows, search, and other use cases that we'll just explore in a second. Last but not least, because Connect is a feature within an app, that means any existing app that you have already built on Zoom can also use it. You don't necessarily need to create a new app, but of course you can. There are many other use cases we can think of where connector can be used. I'm going to go through a few of these use cases. However, the connector framework is built with extensibility in mind across the Zoom platform. So there are definitely more use cases where connector can shine in the futures, and we definitely want you all to start thinking about it together with us. Now, the first use case I'm going to share is the connector in our workflow automation. Customers can use workflow to automate tasks. With connector bringing in third-party data into Zoom, users on the Zoom workplace can focus on the more important things. Now, in the example video that you're seeing right now on the top right-hand corner on the slides, the user is creating a workflow actions to automate sending out an email via Gmail using the Google connector to his manager whenever PTO request is created. Now, this is obviously a very simple use cases, but you can imagine with the different connectors a users can have in the workflow automations and with our flexible workflow automation tools, the possibility here is really limitless. Now, in the second screenshot that you see below, you can see the connector in action that brings the Salesforce data into the Zoom contact center flow that helps collects and update tickets information in Salesforce when a contact center engagement is completed. So in other words, connector is not simply just bringing data into Zoom, but it can also help update, bring the Zoom data out of Zoom to update third-party system data information. Now, this is the first use case. The second use case is we have a global search improved experience. So you can see in this video demo in here with the same search keywords with the connector enabled, users on a Zoom client can search for files, images, documents, tickets, order, and other resources that resides in the third-party system. And I'm going to play it again in here. So in this example, you can see the user searching with the keyword developer summit. Not only a conversation with the keyword showed up, but also the Google spreadsheets and document. And again, this is just the Google connector that Zoom has built. So imagine all the connectors that possibly a user can use and benefit from this search experience. This improved search experience is live today at Zoom, but the connector support will come later. And I will speak about that a little bit more in the roadmap slides. Now, the next use case is probably the most exciting one, which is about the Zoom AI Companion. Connector really enhanced the AI Companion user experience by performing queries and taking actions on the third-party system that allows users to free up time from manual tasks and focus on building meaningful interactions and collaborations at work and with their customers. Now imagine a user who is a CSM or technical support is in a Zoom meeting with their customers. The AI Companion meeting can look up the customer's tickets and in ServiceNow via the ServiceNow connector and allow the users to focus on an interaction with their customers. Now, while this use case is not yet available today, this type of interaction of connector with AI Companion is what we're planning to make available for our Zoom users and our developer in the near futures. And we're really excited about it at Zoom. As I mentioned earlier, there are other use cases where connector can be used, not limited to these three that I just shared. Now, with that note, you might still be wondering, how can I build a connector? I jumped earlier, but now I'm going to go play a video on a quick, short, pre-recorded video to show you how to set it up in Marketplace. So I'll be showing off how to create a connectors in our Zoom app Marketplace. This is our Zoom developer environment, but in the production environment soon, you will also be able to see this feature. So it's very simple. You start with building apps, building a general apps. And in the general apps feature section, you will notice a new feature is now available called Connect, which is in our open beta. So you have a few options here in the Connect. Right now, we only support privately distributed connector apps, meaning it's only for internal use for your organizations. For third-party developers, stay tuned. This feature will be opening up soon in a few months. But this is pretty straightforward. You have the options of adding these endpoint yourself or uploading the API specifications. For this demo, I'm going to showcase how to add a Microsoft Find My Own Drive Files API endpoints. And I'm going to use the file uploads. So you can either drag or drop the files, and I'm gonna just drop it down here, and then you can see it's being uploaded. Just give it a sec. So now it's uploaded. You can see some of these informations has already filled it out for you, as well as the endpoint definition. You can see the endpoint definitions not tested yet, but this API specification upload is very convenient. So at this point, you want to provide your client ID and client secret, and Zoom will generate a redirect URL where you want to point it back at your service. So for example, you're configuring this in Microsoft. You want to put this redirect URL in your Microsoft app. We also support many different authorization type. It just so happened that in the API specifications, we're selecting the authorization code there. But all these other methods, we support it in our connector framework here. So for the time of convenience, I have already configured an app. So this is the client ID and secret of my app, and this is the redirect URL that I have already set back in my Microsoft instance. So now when we go to endpoints, you can actually run a test. And then you can see, oh, let me refresh this page real quick. And then you can run a test, and then you will be able to see the response. And that means the connector is working. So yeah, you can actually add as many methods as long as they all follow the same base URL, and that's pretty much it. You can add all these different methods, and the connector is now supporting Zoom Contact Center workflow, as well as Zoom Virtual Agent workflow. But in the short future, we'll support many other use cases, like workflow and global search. Well, stay tuned. Thanks for listening. All right, that was a quick demo. So I just want to move on to do a quick recap. That's might be a lot of information to consume. Again, want to recap what we talked about in the demo just now. This connector feature is available for contact center and Zoom Virtual Agent workflow use cases for now. And it is also available to new and existing apps. The only prerequisite is that your app must be using the new unified build flow. So shameless plug here, if you're not converting an app to unified build flow, general apps yet, go ahead and do it. There's a lot more features to unlock. Again, in the near future for connector, there will be enhancement to support other use cases like search and AI companion. So now, before you walk away from this sessions about connectors and connector framework at Zoom, I want you to take away a few things. Number one, Connect is a feature within an app, and any app that uses that Connect features in Zoom, we call them connectors. And that can be using only the Connect features or with any existing features that are available today in our marketplace build flow, like our service feature with JS SDK, or using it with the Zoom API and webhooks as well. Essentially, Connect features enable an app to call third-party APIs. It is extensible to different use cases, products, and features at Zoom. And while focus, I know much of the sessions talk about bringing data into Zoom, the Connect feature is really bi-directional depending on those third-party API that the app is using. It can also bring data out of Zoom to the third-party system. So I talk a lot about the connector features itself and the use cases, and I mentioned timeline a few times. Now here's a high-level roadmap for the next few months. Gentle reminders that this roadmap is tentative and is subjected to change due to our change in priorities and stuff. But with that out of the way, in June, just last week, we have released the Connect features to private apps. That means customers can develop their own connectors today, but only for the contact center and virtual agent workflow use cases. Now, this is available to all developers upon request. We'll try to make it available to all developers by default, but just keep in mind for now, it is only available for contact center and virtual agent use cases. Once it becomes available, I highly encourage you all to go test it, play with it, and share your feedback with us so we can iterate together. In July, the workflow automations for the Zoom Workplace will become available. So at that time, we will automatically support it. Any customers who build private apps with the Connect features can use them on their workflow automation in July. Now, the bigger timeline in here or milestone in here is really August. The Connect features will support publishable apps. So if you're planning to list your apps or already have a listed app in the Zoom Marketplace, this is the date to look for because you can build a connector and start to have many users in Zoom find it on the Zoom Marketplace and install it there. Now, beyond August, we're also looking to support additional use cases like global search, file sharing use cases, and adding more functionalities like incoming webhooks and data mapping scripts. I'm not going to go into the detail, but if there's any specific questions on those details, and if I can answer and I can share, please feel free to ask during the Q&A sessions coming up. So with that, I'm concluding my session today. It's a quick, short sessions. I want to be focused and concise. I hope you all are excited as I am, and now we'll be taking questions.
Thanks, Brendan. If anyone has questions, please enter them in the Q&A panel that you see at the bottom of your screen. If you click that, it should open up a side bar for you to be able to answer or enter your question. Thank you. Okay, we have a question from Natalie. What are some top use cases you're seeing for connectors so far?
Yeah, thanks, Natalie. Right now, I think we anticipate the majority of the use cases will be coming from the workflow automations. We actually already have a few connectors going to go live that are built by Zoom when the workflow automation comes up. Those are like, for example, the Gmail connectors, the Google Drive connectors. Just to name a few, workflow is probably the top use cases. But as I mentioned earlier, the global search is also a very interesting use cases that really changes the experience for the Zoom users. Some other use cases that I haven't really shared in this session included like file sharing services, like for example, in a meeting, when you want to collaborate and share your documents or collaborating in the same Google Documents or Coda documents, those will also be powered by the connector framework and connector service in the future. Of course, the AI companion, but the most anticipated one in the short time period, I think it will be the workflow automation.
Great. We also got a question just asking if the session is recorded. Yes, it is, and all sessions will be available to view on demand after the summit. So look out for an email from us after today where there'll be a link for you to be able to access all the content from today's summit.
Well, if there's no other questions in this sessions, well, thank you all for coming and attending these sessions. I know we still have other sessions running at the same time. If you have time, please go stop by other sessions. There's a lot more exciting things going on in the developer platform. Obviously, Connector is one of them. But if you have time, please do stop by other sessions, even if it's just like catching the end of it. And if you have any other questions after the sessions, please let me know. I'll make myself available in the mingling time in this events later on. Or you can also find me on LinkedIn, add me, and shoot me an email. I'm happy to answer any of those questions related to Connected Framework. There's a lot more to come, so I'm really excited, and thank you for participating and joining me in this session.